Welcome to the lighter side of the dark side. It's your weekly freak show here on Renegade Radio and all podcast catchers, including Spotify, yes, and iHeartRadio, and everywhere you listen to podcasts. This is Dark Mark, the goth comedian. Welcome. Thank you for listening. And we're going to have quite a wild show tonight. I'm in here with three beautiful women. I guess I hit the jackpot. It's Valentine's Day 3 days later. And I'm going to turn the camera around. Uh-oh, there's beautiful woman number one.
Hello.
My co-host, everybody's favorite horror writer, Nicole Six.
Yes, I was writing horror today, actually.
Were you writing horror on Valentine's Day?
No. Valentine's Day, I actually sent the boy I like a Valentine, and he liked it.
Oh, wow.
I know.
and when you texted me later that night to tell me about that, it's like that never happened before.
Well, it's happened. I had one other really nice Valentine's Day, but usually the guys that I like don't like me back.
Oh, no.
And the guys that like you don't like back.
It's what's that song, Love Stinks? He likes her, but she likes somebody else.
Yeah, exactly.
You just can't win.
Exactly. Well, I like all three of the beautiful women in the studio, and they're chomping at the bit to talk, as you can tell. And
We're ready.
yes, they're both. Here we go again. You're in the studio with three stand-up comedians. Can you handle it?
I think so.
Yeah, yes.
Well,
Sure.
I was talking to her, but there's stand-up comedian number one who's answering for you, apparently. She's been in show business a long time. And she's been one of the top comedians in L.A. for a long time, Miss Tonya Moon.
Hello, how are you? I'm so excited to be here.
Yes.
This is fun.
We're excited to have you. And apparently I paired you up with one of our... and probably the guest that we've had on the show since its relaunch in 2018 the most. And this is somebody that you're going to find out you have a lot in common with. Not just that you're funny, not just that you're beautiful, not just that you're blonde, but there's so much more. There she is.
Oh.
Everybody knows her. Everybody loves her. Don't worry about that.
Oh.
Jamie Gendron.
Okay.
Hi.
Yes.
How is everyone?
And she really, you really took me off guard with the cleavage. Because I didn't notice that when I walked in and I was letting them in to the show. I turned around and there it is.
Both of them.
I've actually got an appointment with a plastic surgeon to see about getting them redone again. So
They look fine to me. What's the problem?
They've been in 13 years. You're supposed to swap them out every 10.
That's why I gotta have mine done because I've had like 3 sets, but I gotta have them doing. They bunch
Same
up.
with me. 3
they
sets.
clumped up. Yeah.
See, number 1 and 2 things that you have in common.
I know. I feel like I had 3. You know,
Me too.
Like 3. You know, these are. Do you have the silicone or did
silicone
you have?
gel.
Yeah, me too.
Yeah.
And they bunching up, you know, and you know, and it's like. Oops, it's a little bit heavier on this one side and everything, you know? And so, I'm going to get mine. You have to
I'd like
a doctor.
lift. I would like a lift.
Really? Because they seem to be right there.
Well, I've got a push-up bra on. But
are you like a double D?
I'm a triple D.
Yeah, I thought that. Yeah, it was like.
Yeah.
And what are you, Tonya?
I now compared to her, I got to go get another surgery. Well, I'm out of here. No, I'm a D. I started off when I first started off. Was I used to call them kitty titties because I look like when you turn a kitten over, it was just nipples.
Right.
But I got my first set was in the 80s, and it was a going away gift from my boyfriend.
Oh, wait a second. So he broke up with you and said, "Here, take some tits."
Well, he was a married man, and so we was with him for 12 years, and finally asked me to marry him, but I became another person. And he said, "Do you want to go to Europe or everything?" And I said, "No, I don't want to go to Europe. I want something that will last me forever." And so I said, "I want some tits." And so he gave me tits, and he bought these, but he never ever touched them. He never ever touched them. He bought them for me, but I
what?
Yeah,
you would think that would be part of it.
I think that he liked me when I had kitty titties.
Really? Some people do. Some people like kitty titties.
Yeah.
And Nicole, you don't have kitty titties. You have very nice.
No, she's got hers are good.
Yeah, these are.
Yeah.
That's all natural
I'm
too.
also, that's all natural.
I'm
also wearing a.
Mine are shrinking. I'm actually working out there.
Yes, you are.
My bambos are small, getting smaller. But you're a D, right? Solid D.
I am a D.
Yeah.
And natural.
But I mean, I won't be by the time I finish my diet. I was a C before. I'll be a C again.
Right. And you know what? If you want to keep up with this type of conversation, what you need is this right here, the best energy drink in the world, Ray's energy drink right there. I got the voodoo flavor, and this is the best. It's 0 calories, 0 carbs, 0 crash. It's got amino acids in there. It's got electrolytes. This is the voodoo flavor. It tastes like fruit punch. And Nicole actually gave it the thumbs up.
It's delicious.
Yes.
All right.
It's the best. Now, if you go to the description on our page, whatever, Spotify or whatever podcast catcher you're listening to this on, or YouTube, there will be a link where you can get 15% off a case of Ray's Energy Drink. I'm going to drink mine right now. I just popped the top, and
Ooh.
delicious. By the way, I'm holding an iPad as a camera, and it's really cumbersome. My housekeeper, I don't know if you have people clean your houses, but
Wow.
I'm so disgusting that I do. So I paid somebody to clean my house. It's immaculate, but I don't know where half the things are, including my little camera. So I've got it fixated on Tonya there,
And-
Jamie there,
Yeah.
and that's you two could be sisters.
I know.
I
Sisters.
know.
Yes.
You have
Sisters.
Definitely.
you have a lot in common, except Tonya.
Yes.
It probably surprised a lot of people that you are Korean.
I'm half Korean and
excuse me.
half a lot of other things. Yeah, I'm half Korean. I was born in Korea and then I was adopted by a GI just last week. But No,
I was going to say this sounds like the R. Kelly story we were talking about in the car.
No, and no, I was adopted, and so I'm half Korean and half white. And then my Korean mom found me. It's a long story. My whole American family died. I didn't kill them. They just all died. So I have no.
COVID, or this was
No, this is a year.
okay.
I'm 68, so they died a long time ago. Yeah,
Right.
so yeah.
That's
so,
the other thing. People would not know that you are 68 years old.
Yep, I am.
Look at the shock. Look at the shock on Jamie's face.
I
Yeah,
know.
68. Well, it's a lot of work. It's a lot.
We should all
of work.
look that good at 68.
Well, it's a lot of work, and can I tell you, everyone, all ladies out there, don't use water on your face. Always use. I never wash my face with water.
Really?
Now I don't know why.
Water.
Never soap and water or any cleanser. You always use like coconut cream and toner. Use oil because if you use water, it takes off all your skin and it's bad for your
I
skin.
use an oil cleanser.
Yeah, that's
See?
right. See,
Yeah.
another
So
thing
that's
we
why
got
you look so
happen.
great.
And I use all Korean skincare. So.
Yeah, that's right.
Is Korean skincare the best?
Yes.
Yeah. Oh,
Definitely.
can I mean Dr. Paragon is my favorite, but you have to, because I worked I was a makeup artist for Hustler and porn business for a long time, so I know I've seen skin
Well,
beyond skin.
well, you're the master of the segue because there it is.
Yeah.
You were the makeup artist. I didn't. You don't think about that. There are makeup artists for
Oh.
porn, so you would make up everything. You would apply makeup to the dick, to the.
No, not to the dick, because that would have to be hooked on him. we give him the oil. If we never had to do it,
You never
no.
touched up anybody's ass or.
Oh yeah, boys and everything, but I just always let them do it. But girls, of course,
Really?
the first time we had to do it was, because Hustler, you go like this, you have to see all the way down there. So my job was to make it look pretty like a rosebud.
Oh.
So
How do you make a vagina look pretty?
Okay,
No,
first-
I think it's pretty as it is, but tell me
Okay,
how to make it look
Okay,
prettier.
so first of all, you have to take it has to be really clean shaved, pretty like that, and then you take a Q-tip, and then be sure it's all clean, and then when it's done, then you if they have lips, you spread it like that, or if they have bigger lips, then you take a Q-tip. You go down and you twirl it like this around the Q-tip, and you stick it like a little rosebud on both sides, and then you go down the middle with baby oil to make it glisten.
So, wait a second.
Well,
You're telling me some of the porn that I've been watching, the women have Q-tips in their vaginas,
No, that's for the that's
For
for
Hustler.
the
or is this like
cinema.
rollers,
No, this is
like rollers in the hair?
No, this is for like the center. When they used to have these things called magazines.
I remember.
Yeah, and so to get that glistening.
Okay, so it's like a magazine shoot.
Yeah, magazine shoots.
Look
So
at the face on Nicole.
Yeah.
This conversation has
I
gotten
know,
wild
I
really
know.
fast.
I'm not
I-
shocked.
Yeah, the first time it was like when I first came to Hustler, I just want to be a makeup artist. It was like I remember like I got a note when I did my test, and I remember I did this makeup, and this girl had beautiful black hair, and I combed it, everything. We did the shot, and then they called me next day, and they said, Tonya, from the office, memo, you gotta trim her hair. Her hair's a mess. I'm going, I gotta cut her hair? I was like, what? You know, so they came down with these scissors and everything. I'm going, what? And they said, I had to cut her hair. They go, not that hair, that hair. so we had a little packet. So we had a packet. We had like a little packet. So we had, you do a little razor. These are old days before, you know, waxing was really, you know, because you couldn't have a rash. So I had razors, little tweezers, and then Q-tips and baby oil. And if they had a big bush, then you use a lawnmower. Ha ha ha! But no, you know.
Wow,
yeah,
this explains so much about my conversation with my plastic surgeon when I had my surgery, my bottom surgery.
I was just about to
Because
segue into that.
He was telling me, do not have unrealistic expectations from porn and porn type things because it's not realistic.
It's not real.
And so he said, I can guarantee you that I will give you something that you will find aesthetically pleasing.
Yeah.
And I was like, okay, well, I can live with that. I won't expect perfection, just something I can be pleased with. And he gave me what he said. You know, I mean...
Is it aesthetically pleasing? I hope to find out someday.
Do you know the
I'm
secret?
surprised I haven't posted it.
You can tell by a woman's lip. It's the same kind of shape.
Yeah.
The lips down there is the same shape down here.
Is it really? So your lips are the same shape as your vagina lips?
Yeah, if they have like big, you know,
I
they
have mine
allow like that one.
Yeah, yours have been augmented, so...
Yeah, so like if like someone has a lower, like a tinier lower lip and a bigger lip, then one side of the skin will be tinier than the other one, and that's where we come in. I don't snip it off. Cut it out. No.
Jamie's plastic surgeon does.
Yeah, we do that, and then some of the point, you know, that they.
So you've had asymmetrical vaginas?
No, I'm saying, you know, the.
Well, like a little bigger on one side?
Yeah, you know the lips that hang over.
Yes, I'm familiar. Yes, I've seen one. Yes,
yeah. So if you see vagina, so sometimes one lip on one side
right,
is smaller,
I've seen,
and the other side is bigger. So that's when you look at a woman's lip. Sometimes the bottom lip is smaller and the top lip is bigger. Do you know what I mean? Yeah. So sometimes you can kind of look and say, I know what she looks like down there.
Well, you know, since this is kind of be wasted because our audience is about 98% male, but if somebody has lips that are bigger on one side, what do you do to counteract that or make it look symmetrical?
Well, you know, I hope he's just not down there staring at it.
No. For a woman, like, how would a woman balance out her lips?
Well, I mean, that's for photo shoots. I don't know what they do.
Well, if they're taking a photo, if they're an OnlyFans.
Okay, then you have to roll it. You take a Q-tip, and then you take
that's where the Q-tips roll.
You roll it like this, like you take the lip, you roll it, and then you take the Q-tip and you pull it out.
Right.
So it comes like that, and then you pull it out.
Right.
So then you tuck it in.
So it's like rolling your hair.
Yes, exactly.
Yeah, it's you know, the granny with the rollers, and then you put that. Yeah. There you go. By the way, I'm going to try for next week to have Q-tip as a sponsor. We're going to see how that goes. But
I'm trying to imagine my lips doing that.
But I know you think, yeah, that's it. Like...
Well, I did want this to be, first off, I knew you two would hit it off great.
Yeah.
But one of Tonya's bits that she does in her act is that a lot of people think that you are a transsexual.
Yes, they do. All the time, you know. I think it's because, I don't know, they relate to makeup and beauty or something, you know. And I always tell them, you know, this was a makeup, excuse me, that was invented during like 70s or 80s. That was done by Penthouse, and Steve Riley did it, and Pamela Anderson made it really big because that came from a makeup artist named Vogel, because the daughter. But anyway, that makeup, so this makeup has always thought that people were, you know, because you wear a lot of makeup and sexy makeup, that you're a transvestite. But, you know, that I have a dick. I'm going, no, I'm just an ugly woman who likes to wear a lot of makeup.
First off, you're hardly an ugly woman. You're a beautiful woman that wears a lot of makeup.
It was, and, you know, I always loved makeup. But, you know, if you are, you know, especially like if you're like half Asian or half, you know, they used to have a thing at Hustler, because I never took my pants off at Hustler, and they go, Tonya, we never see you without your pants. What's down there? And so it was like a joke, you know, because in the Philippines, You know, a lot of people thought I was a Filipino boy when I was younger.
Yes.
Or a Thai boy, you know.
Yeah, you just had those nipples, and that's it.
Yeah, that's right. But because I wear the hair, the makeup, and so people relate to that.
Yeah.
You
Right.
know.
But I was so I wanted you to first off to meet Jamie because you two have so much in
Yeah.
common. But also, I don't think I mean you I don't know if you've met and hung out with too many transsexuals.
Well, no. I at work.
That's a no.
No, not like every day. No, but I've done makeup on one that had. We shot her for I think it was Club or Penthouse that had both. She had what do you call them, morphodites?
Hermaphrodite.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And she was up for a movie that they were looking for, and that was the first time that because you know she was like a girl that I picked up every day that we picked up was going to do a shoot with her and everything, so I got to be friends. I never saw her down there because I did her makeup, test makeup, and then came the day that I also clothed them, so I went and bought her panties, and I remember putting her panties on, and all of a sudden there was a penis there. I'm going, holy moly. And then she goes, Tonya, I'm just your everyday morphodite,
Right.
That's so funny. In New Orleans, they pronounce it morphodite.
Morphodite. How do you pronounce it?
Hermaphrodite.
It's hermaphrodite.
Oh, probably just me with
Nowadays, it's intersexed.
I was yeah, that's right. Yeah, they've got a new term for it, intersex.
Yeah.
But I would say if somebody needs a Q-tip, somebody with a penis and a vagina probably needs a Q-tip down there. But we were talking, and I don't know how much you want to get into it on air, but I know when we were writing when we were writing together, we were talking about your vagina and how different it is from female vaginas, and how they have specific dildos for transsexuals.
Yes.
I had no idea.
Oh.
Well, it's part of maintenance after you have the surgery that you have to dilate, because the natural instinct of your body is that there's a wound, so it wants to close. So in order to keep it from closing, you have to use medical rods they're basically medical grade dildos.
Oh,
Okay.
wow.
And they come in they're all 9 inches long, but they come in varying thicknesses. And
See, that's what us. All these guys, we all say that too. We're all 9 inches with varying thicknesses. But, anyway, so they're 9 inches with varying thicknesses.
Yeah. And you work, when you first have surgery, you have to work your way up to the biggest one,
Oh.
because you're extra tight in the beginning, and you have to stretch and get used to the feeling of that stretching. And
Oh, wow.
so with me, it took me 6 weeks to work up to the largest one.
Wow.
And the largest one is 1.5 inches in diameter.
Wow.
So,
It
but
took-
that one,
wow.
it ended up feeling good after a while.
It takes me 6 minutes. Bum, 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 bum. I'm kidding.
Oh, please, 9
I've
inches
done
is
it
nothing to
before.
Tonya.
I've done it before.
But and you are able to achieve full orgasm.
Oh God, yes, or multiples.
Wow, that's so
Yeah.
amazing.
Yeah, my surgeon actually said that I got lucky because I have a hypersensitive clitoris.
Okay.
Oh.
So yeah,
You-
it's
you can
very
come
very
real
easy
easy.
for me to come.
Yeah,
And-
because that's another thing important. Like, it's like some girls, some girls, it's not the guy's fault. They have to work harder because the little thingy-majiggy is hidden, like in the top layer or
Yeah.
something.
You don't have to use all these medical terms like thingamajiggy.
Okay, well, because I can't say it, but the clitoris
The
is
clitoris.
hidden,
yes.
and so their skin of it, so they have to work, really harder. But then other girls that were important, like one had she could come like that because it looked like a tiny penis, So
Yeah.
she got touched, she just like, ooh, would
Yeah.
have an orgasm.
Oh,
you
my
know?
hood exposes when I'm excited and I'm doing my thing. Yeah, the hood definitely exposes it. So it's like, ooh, when you touch that spot,
But-
it's like, oh my God.
Can I ask you a question? Do you have hair like the rest of
I
us?
got rid of it. I did before surgery because they don't want you to grow hair inside of your vagina.
Makes sense.
Oh,
So they actually have you go for laser hair removal before the surgery.
oh wow.
And so I opted for the full Brazilian.
Oh wow.
I figured since I'm going through it
Good.
anyway,
Yeah,
and
yeah.
it was kind of
Good.
humiliating, to be honest. So
Do you have? Does it grow back hair all the time now, or no?
now it's like it grows a little bit of fuzz hair that it stays short and like fuzzy.
Oh, so
And I have
like a crew cut.
yeah.
A little bit, and so every once in a while I just kind of swipe it with a razor, and it's good to go.
That's it.
You know.
Yeah.
Nice.
Yeah. I always kind of wondered like about, when they had it, if they had hair, and I just never, was embarrassed. Hey, do you grow hair down there? You know what I mean?
A lot of the girls do grow hair because they want to cover their scars.
Oh, okay.
But I don't really, my scars, I don't think that they're that bad.
So the scars above, like
The scar is
scars are
actually like a V.
Okay.
And
Oh,
then the
that's cute.
vagina's in the center of it, and the scar is like a V on the side.
How appropriate. So if anybody has to try to figure out where the vagina is, just
It's
follow the V.
Yeah, exactly.
V for vagina.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Ta-da!
See, I'm right on top of it. I'll be honest, I've had opportunities to date a couple of transsexuals in the past, and I was always wary because I didn't know if I could please them.
Yeah.
But I guess I can.
Yeah, well,
Actually, I'm not 9 inches, but I guess I'm sure there's a clitoris, there's something.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
And if you have a V, even easier.
Yeah. I
So-
mean, not everybody can have multiples. I
Yeah.
mean,
Yeah.
and not everybody can come every time.
Mm-hmm.
But I'm just one of those weird freaks in nature that every single time I want to, I can.
Wow, that's
Well-
great. That's so great.
Well,
Yeah.
let me ask you a really weird question now. When you were a man, was that the way too? Were you very hypersexual when you had a penis?
Only when I was young.
Right.
Wait a minute.
You know, when I got to 40, by 40, it had tapered off.
Wow, I thought you were about
Oh,
35
no,
now.
I'm about to be 52.
Wow, that's good. So you had hair. What color was it? I'm kidding.
We don't tell.
I was brunette.
No,
I was brunette.
mine was black. But Asians we don't have hardly any, because that was a myth in the Korean women that they didn't have any hair.
Oh,
down there.
yeah.
Now,
That
how
was
long
like-
have you been blonde?
I went
Tonya.
gray. I went gray. So this is like my color. I went gray. So that's why.
No, but how long have you been blonde? Because as far as I've known you, you've been blonde.
Yeah, because I couldn't.
With the
keep-
blonde bombshell.
Well, no, it's great because I went gray when I was like 8. My family was religious. I had gray hair when I was in high school. Now it's like that because things that happened in my life. I had I had white hair. They took me to the doctor when I was 8 years old, and they said it was some kind of vitamin deficiency. So I went back dark, but I couldn't keep the white anymore. So I just said I'm going blonde.
Okay, so you're like Steve Martin. You were like prematurely gray.
Yeah. It was like that. It was like it was like, and that white you can't dye. But down here was black. Stringy.
That's so weird.
It was like a string, but it was black, twirly.
Wow. So the carpets did not match the drapes.
But then I had hairy arms, like red hair on my arms, because I'm half American, so I don't know
Right.
what that happened there. So I look like a ape arms. I was really ape arms with twirlies down there.
So Steve Martin in the head.
And ape arms here.
like Ralph Malph in the
And
in the
arms.
arms, and then I don't know what's going on down
Yeah,
there. That's crazy.
So it was weird.
So how did you end up working at Hustler? How do you apply for a job as a makeup artist for nude centerfolds?
Oh well, no. It happened as when I was like 20 in my 20s. I just wanted to be a makeup artist so bad. That was we hung out with makeup artists, and that's all I wanted to do. I just loved makeup so much. And then I was working at Horton and Converse Pharmacy in Santa Monica at St. John's Hospital, and this girl comes up, a young girl, and she said. And I said, "Can I do your makeup?" I was just in the back, I was in charge of the makeup counter. And she said, "Yeah, so I did her makeup." And she said, "How would you like to work for a magazine?" I said, "Yeah." And then I was thinking, oh, it's Bizarre, because it was like a high
People magazine or something.
Yeah, I was like, oh, Bizarre, Harvard. I said, "Oh, I'll show you my book." And she said, "It's Hustler." I said, "What's Hustler?" And then I remember looking at it. This is like in like 70. Like 80 or something like that. And I remember they had paper bags over it and everything. But so I called him, and I said, and that happened to be Athea, who was Larry Flynt's wife, sister. And so I called him up, and I had to go through all this testing and everything, and I ended up working there. But I ended up
What kind of testing? Did they do like a Scantron, like algebra, or what?
No, it's serious. When you do magazines, Larry Flynt at that time, they were spending $5,000 or $10,000 for sets and 4-day shoots, and that makeup had to be perfect, because in those days we didn't have Photoshopping, and in those days nude modeling was not in. So I didn't have, all my friends had the beautiful Christine Brinkley, Beverly Johnson. I had women who had beautiful bodies, but their faces weren't, sometimes the butterface, or it wasn't the greatest girls.
Are you telling me hustler centerfolds or butterfaces?
No, we made them good, but it wasn't in then. It wasn't in to do that. You have to remember those days, people was ashamed of it,
Right.
and they were embarrassed.
Yeah.
And they didn't make it to Playboy, they didn't make it to Penthouse. Sometimes it was like their diet needed, and then after hustler and thing, they decide go on porn or something. But so what we had to do,
Or barely legal, or chic,
Yeah.
or weed.
yeah,
or...
chic. I almost did the whole thing. But the thing was, I had to make them. The makeup was so hard because, see, in fashion, they're already beautiful. I can do anything to you, and they can look exotic. I had to make her look like she woke up looking like that. So the makeup had to take 3 and 4 hours. It had to be so blended that it looks like it was part of her face. That means
Right.
a lot of contouring, a lot of readjusting, and it on any woman, because no woman is and especially with hustler and with hustler and everything, and also at the time hustler, he didn't want the girls to be airbrushed and everything. He wanted, hustler was the kind of girl that guys could get.
Yeah.
Right.
He didn't want them to be like Playboy where they were so airbrushed and everything.
Mhm.
He wanted them to be, hustlers was like this. I did mostly chic, which was more fashionable, and we spent so much money. We had sets. I mean, we had trees that brought in. We had like water coming in. Like we even made like a stream, a lake inside the studios. We had the best furniture. And then when you see the shot, you see this like this, and you're like, but there was like a tree there. We had brought real trees.
Yeah, it's so weird. Like like when you're jerking off, you're like, oh well, geez, that's a wonderful stream there. That's great.
Yeah, I know. It was like amazing, and I mean, we spent. Oh my God, the clothing we spent. And I go to Hustler, go to the Hustler store, and I see the same clothes that we had in the 70s, 80s. I said, oh my God, these are the same panties. The fashion never changes in porn. It's still garter belt,
Yes.
stockings, high heels, panties. The stay, the fur, right?
I wore crotchless panties for
Yep.
New Year's Eve.
Oh
So-
wow,
This New Year's Eve?
Yeah.
that's
Oh wow.
yeah.
How'd that go over?
It went over quite well.
Yeah. I know. I mean,
Do you have a pair of crossless panties, Tonya?
I don't wear any.
Oh, that's right. I think we went through this before.
I wear Spanx.
You and Nicole. No.
Yeah, I don't wear any.
Yes.
No, I wear Spanx because I gain weight.
Oh,
so,
stop.
No, but those crotchless panties did not work for me. They were like lopsided.
Yeah, you don't want to sleep in them or anything.
anything.
I fell asleep. And when I woke up the next day, they were all up in places. that
Yeah,
I-
and they're
Oh.
like they go like
No.
this and like knotted up, and they're like
Yeah.
it's weird. It's
But
not.
it was sexy at first, and when my legs went up in the air, it was.
Yeah,
It
it's
was fun.
wonderful.
Yeah. So how was Larry Flynt to work for?
The most honest, wonderful human being there was. He was. I think they said he could be the best boss, but he was you. At that time, like he was the most honest person. If you were honest with him, and you did your work, that's all that mattered. Your work, he didn't care if you were gay, purple, pink, blue, whatever. It was your work that counted for.
Because there's so many purple, pink, and blue people
Yeah,
out there. I always like when they do that. They're like, I don't care if you're black or white or
No.
pink or purple or
No.
there's no pink or purple people.
No, all it was through the micro thing is like that work, and he did everything like that. But he
Do you have a
was-
specific story about Larry Flynt? Did you a little interaction?
Sure. Well,
Did he ever hit on you?
No, that was. See, the thing about it, people get mixed up. They think that we were all like that. His thing was,
Because I've hit on you.
yeah, but Larry Flynt's thing. No, this was the people get so mixed up. Actually, he was a feminist.
Yes.
Yeah, and he. What we did was at 5:30 or 6 o'clock, you did your spread shot. Okay, this is one thing. Okay, so he in our dressing room, nobody is allowed to go in there. He had beautiful dressing rooms. Everyone was respected. Everyone in the staff had to respect them, and nobody was rude to him. And you couldn't go on there and do any. But then once you got on the set, you opened the door. Then you did this after 6:30 or 5:30 shooting. Thank you so much for working. It was a contract. It was like, you did your work, thank you.
Mm-hmm.
It was never about, people thought that we had parties. But he actually are the staff. We were the most straightest people in the world, and that's what he wanted. He didn't want us to be partying and doing like that. We were the straightest people in the world, and that's what he wanted.
Yeah, he was trying to run an empire.
Yeah, it was all business, because he didn't want people like goofing around and being party. Because that wasn't about it. It was like actually it was about about pushing the boundary, about pushing the amendment of
free speech.
Yeah, of free speech. That's what it was about. Because we'd get memos.
Well, it was about pussy too, but
yeah. Well, he said if we didn't get if nobody we didn't have any death threats or anything, we weren't doing our job. So the special in the back. So, but he was the most. That is the most honest place that you can work. Even the photographers and everything. We went on locations. Nothing happened. You'd think that we were a bunch of.
Well, were there ever like a Christmas party or some party where you got to see everybody let loose and see Larry Flynt go crazy?
No, it was never. Well, I mean, we went to one party. The first one I went to, I remember because inside, I think at that time, it was in the 80s, we had Chester the molester, and then, he did molesting jokes that you could not even do. And then we had pooping ones. And then, and I just remember, and I remember this couple, they hit on me, and I said, "Oh, I can't go home with you because you're gonna poop on me." Because he was like, "Oh, everything was cartoons about pooping."
Oh, okay.
But see,
these were columns in the magazine.
But see, the office was beautiful. It was like antique. We had Secret Service guys. It was like strict, So we never mingled with the studio. Our studio was hidden, so we just did actually. We were just like regular, like this. We were just regular people, and we'd have the girl go, "Okay, it's time for you to shoot," and then, "Okay, honey, let's spread your legs. Let me see how you're down there." It was like a doctor, and it was nothing like people think, And everyone had a fantasy. It was like that, but it wasn't. It was just like a nurse.
Yeah, but I got to say, and we're being very professional here, but. You, me, Nicole, and Jamie in the studio, that's not 4 normal people.
But I mean, yeah, it was like nothing like that. It was like
we're doing our thing.
Yeah, all of us, we had a great time.
So he was more straight-laced than people think.
Well, I didn't know. We didn't have contact with him in the office. We were at the studio.
Well, you met him though, right?
Once, not even once. I mean, he just knew about our work.
Okay.
They stayed up in the office in the Twin Towers or his building. Mm-hmm. We stayed at the studio. All they did is saw our work. That's all they did. It was nothing like, anything like, the mansion or anything. It was nothing like that.
Okay.
So it's like, I'm so sorry to say it's boring, but now the porno sets, that was different when I did.
Okay. Well, put a bookmark in that because we have one more sponsor, and I don't know if you're aware of this, but I'm gonna. Nicole, this conversation is fast and furious. I want to get in while I can. Go right ahead.
So if you're looking to calm
down,
in the mic. I can't. Okay.
Or pull the mic closer if you can.
I mean, I can't look at the camera and look at the mic.
The mic's closer. Go ahead. Look at the camera.
Okay. Can you hear me?
Yes.
All right. If you're looking to chill out and have a good time, then you're looking for Renegade CBD or Renegade Kush. Both products are made with natural ingredients and have a higher confectionery to make the candies to the best of their level. These gummies are delicious. I'm all out, and I want them to send me some more.
I was going to say, did Charlie give you a copy to read? Because that was very professional.
Well, no.
No. But if you go to renegadekush.com or renegadecbd.com, those websites should be up momentarily.
And if Charlie had given me a copy, it would not have sounded professional.
Yeah, I'm sure. So that sounded very professional. That was very good. That was almost as good as the 0 carbs, 0 calories, 0 crash that I do. But good for you. So Renegade CBD, Renegade Kush, they have bath bombs, they have gummies, they have, there's a rumor they have white chocolate, but...
I have to see to believe it. Come on, man.
Okay.
White chocolate.
Yes, white chocolate gummies. Now, Jamie, one thing that you do have in common with Tonya is stripping.
Yeah.
Yep.
And you were in the French Quarter, and that was probably, and she is from the legendary Jumbo's Clown Room. We'll get to that in a second. Mm-hmm. But that, I mean, and you were doing that at a really young age. I mean, it was an inappropriately young age.
Oh, yeah. I was
Louisiana?
14. Oh, yeah, I was 14.
Oh, wow.
Nobody should be stripping.
I started going into bars when I was 10. So
You
Yeah.
were stripping at 10?
No, I
Oh,
started
wow.
going into bars.
So that's
I
really-
started going into bars when I was 10.
wow.
But then when I was 14, I left home, and that's how I ended up in the strip clubs. And
And can I be? Were you dressed like
yeah.
a woman then, and
Oh,
then
yeah.
you just tucked? You just
that's
tucked-
why I had,
yeah.
that's why
Yeah, well,
my mother threw me out, said, you got to go. I'm not going to have a faggot son of mine running around in drag. Like, I got the whole thing. And I said,
Damn.
you know, okay, fine, fuck you. And as I left, I took a key to her new car and went up and down both sides. And yeah, it was a whole dramatic thing.
But where did you, when you were stripping, where do you tuck it?
Yeah.
How do you tuck it?
Okay, well, the testicles go up inside of the inguinal canal.
Oh,
You don't watch the RuPaul's Drag Race?
I don't.
You have,
I don't.
you
I
have to
don't.
force them up inside the inguinal canals.
Ooh.
And then you take the
How long does
penis-
that take?
It takes like a second.
Okay.
And then you, what I used to do was pull it back between the nut sacks so that you could fold the nut sack over like lips
Yeah.
over the base of the penis.
Depends on
And
how
that
big
way-
you are.
Yeah, well, I had plenty to work with for my surgeon. So, yeah, I mean,
So you were big too.
yeah, oh yeah.
Oh,
Yeah.
wow.
When my surgeon took one look at me, he was like, "Oh, you got plenty to work with."
Okay,
you know?
so when his step was like this big? Or?
Oh no, it was.
Oh,
it was
wait.
I
more
was
like
like,
about like that.
You had that much?
Wait. I'm missing all of this. Now,
It was about like that.
so that's pretty. What is that? 9 inches? What? 8?
Somewhere,
You had about 8?
Wow.
somewhere around there.
It's not River Phoenix size, but it's.
No, God, no. River Phoenix was like 11.
He was 11?
Oh
Wow.
yeah, easily.
Wow. So John Holmes, I saw him. It was like a baseball bat. You
yeah.
know.
So was River Phoenix.
Oh wow.
Yeah, it was like a little baby's arm.
Yeah, isn't
Yeah.
it weird how it is when it dangles?
Yeah.
It's just like weird.
Yeah,
you
oh,
know?
well, I know all about that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But
Yeah.
so,
Wow.
so did you? I mean, did the panties ever come off at that time, or?
Sure. Plenty of times in the VIP room with champagne bottles. When
Oh,
guys would
wow.
know, if guys would come in and they would know, then of course I would go ahead and play that part.
You could take that out.
And if
You
they
could take
came
it
in
out of
and
the
they
adrenal
didn't
gland.
know,
Wow.
I played that part too. And sometimes I would be sitting with a guy and it would be so funny because, you know, a genetically born female would be up on stage dancing
Uh-huh.
and I'd be sitting with the customer and the customer would be telling me, "That's a man, isn't it?
Ah!
That's a man. I know that's a man." And he would be buying me drinks, but he's like, "That's a man." And he's like, "Come on, you share a dressing room. You had to have seen the dick." And I said, "No, she's just another dancer, you know." But yeah, one of the guys that I worked for, his deal was you had to go in his office. He was a mob boss. And you had to go in his office. Oh, yeah. All of the strip
Oh, I
clubs
know.
in New Orleans were owned by mafia people. There were like 3 main families in the city.
Wow.
But this one mob boss, he wanted me to bend over in front of him in his office under bright lights. And he said if he couldn't see anything and it looked flat, that he would hire me. And so he hired me. And I really wanted to work in the club because it had like this 25-foot pole in the center of the place. And like it was really a beautiful club. And the girls were all very like higher end. And
Wow.
I was only about like 16 at the time.
How did you know how to tuck? Who taught you?
Oh, my best friend.
Okay.
Yeah,
So
she's tattooed on my back right there.
was that here?
Yeah.
Oh. Well, so your best
Right.
see again because that's a
There
good
she
thing. It's
is.
like, oh wow, she's beautiful. So because I was thinking, how did you first know how to do that? Because it's like,
She got a hold of me and she said, "What are you doing?" And I said, "Well, I'm just pushing everything back."
Because
And she
RuPaul's
said,
Drag
"No,
Race wasn't on
dumbass."
then.
yeah, I know.
Yeah,
That's what,
1984, there was no RuPaul's.
Yeah.
Yeah.
that's
no.
when I was at Hustler, and yeah, that's what I was saying. If you had a big one, I was just wondering, how did you do that? You know?
It was actually, it's easier if you're bigger.
Oh yeah, that little one.
Because
Bing,
if you're
bing.
smaller, if you're
Keeps on
smaller, it
flipping
wants to
out
pop
thing.
out on you. But if you're bigger, it can go back between the butt cheeks and you can kind of clamp it, you know.
Is that be see me, sir? Or is that a thimble in your pants?
Yes, exactly. Like I was gonna say, did you ever give a lap dance and it popped out? But I guess not.
Yeah.
No, but I used to cut off the legs of pantyhose and use those to tuck with. Like
Oh,
just
right.
the little crotch part to tuck with.
Right.
And then I got up on stage one time and I didn't know it, but my G-string had gone to the side of that.
Oh dear.
So you could see straight through the pantyhose, which means you could see everything. And I'm dancing across the stage not knowing anything.
Oh shit, man.
And all of a sudden the owner of the club is like, "You motherfucker, get your goddamn fucking ass off my fucking stage with your fucking dick showing, you stupid fucking bitch." And I mean, I'm so humiliated. Oh my God, I wanted the ground to open up and swallow me.
I'm sorry.
That was back in the days when they still had those square lights that would light up in all the red, yellow,
Right.
and blue colors. And
Oh,
the
horrible
disco
colors.
light. Oh God, it was awful.
Because
Awful
red
lighting.
is supposed to like make your
Like-
but it made you look like a monster because red is supposed to take
Yeah,
all. You make
but
your
it does
skin
make you look smooth. Yeah,
Yeah, but it doesn't just makes you look in your face.
Yeah.
It's like ooh, you know.
Like that Saturday Night Fever lighting.
Yeah, it
Oh,
was
black lights are
horrible,
bad
yeah.
too. Black lights are
But
bad too.
like the first time you went up there and you had it, I mean, like when you went to dance, I mean, I'm so sorry, but I just want to know
No, that's
how
fine.
did you like go? I'm gonna go up there and dance, and I got to tuck. I mean that was a bit.
Oh, I was tucking.
I mean, I was
long
scared just
before I
being a girl
danced.
dancing. I can't imagine like tucking.
No, I learned
Yeah.
how to tuck like almost a year before I started dancing. So I
Oh.
was already.
Tucking was second nature to you.
Yeah, by that point, honestly, it was. And the only thing about tucking is, okay, here's the thing about having
Is
the
it?
bottom
It's
surgery.
painful though.
It's painful, and having the bottom surgery was like, oh my God, I never have to do that again.
Oh yeah, the tuck.
I never have to tuck again. But the weirdest part is that when you have a sex change, it feels like when you wake up from the surgery, it feels like someone has tucked you in the tightest tuck of your entire life.
Oh wow.
So you have this phantom feeling that it's still there, but that it's strapped between your legs so tight that it feels like somebody's trying to rip it off.
Wow.
And it feels like that for about the first 2 weeks.
Did you
Wow.
did you forget like when you first started you started to go, oh, I don't have that anymore when you went to pee?
Yeah. Ooh. Learning how to pee was a whole
Yeah,
other
that's what I said.
thing.
You had to learn how to pee. Like,
Because I had to
don't do that
relearn
anymore.
how to pee. That was the whole
that was
thing.
like a
And then they told me like it might wobble, it might like do a little thing, don't
Yeah.
freak out if it does. And
Yeah.
they even warned me it might spray at first, and I was like,
Oh,
because of the
man.
swelling,
Right,
Yeah.
I understand.
yeah.
I mean, honestly, when they first do the surgery, you look like a butterball turkey that's ready to be stuffed.
Wow, that's
It just
wow.
looks like this really raw cavity, and it's gross. Like,
Wow.
there's a picture on my phone if you wanted to
No,
see,
I'm
but
good.
yeah,
I think we're
probably
all
don't
we're all
wanna see.
okay. I think.
You probably don't want to see.
I just want to say you had the most
I-
beautiful nose.
Oh,
Your
thank
nose is
you.
your nose is perfect.
Thank you.
She has the most-
Nose job.
No,
No,
they can't make a nose look like that. It's
No.
beautiful.
Well, your nose is nice too.
No, I have a fat nose, but anyway,
Oh, stop.
no, it's perfect. You're like a Catherine Deneuve.
Oh,
Yeah,
thank you.
You do have a Catherine with the hair and everything. Yeah, it's not
that's
like Catherine
exactly
Deneuve,
Catherine Deneuve. Yeah,
Yes.
you know.
but and you stripped.
Yeah, I was the worst dancer.
Well, you
in
never
the-
had to talk, but you stripped.
Yeah, and
You were the worst.
I was worse. You just go do do do.
'Cause you're beautiful, stop it.
No, I was silly and I was goofy, but I was embarrassed because I'd grown up to be a Christian. I never danced, and so the reason I did it was because after my makeup, I was sneaking out to my acting classes, and then I got a huge agent. So they said, Tonya, you can't do makeup anymore. You got to have your days free. So I remember when I was doing makeup, they go, "Oh, Tonya, come and dance with us, because you're fun and everything, And I said, "Well, I got these new boobs, okay, And so, but I was the worst dancer, but
But tell everybody where you danced.
I danced at Jumbo's Clown Room.
Jumbo's Clown Room,
Yes.
which is a legendary strip club that everybody
Yeah.
told me about. It was so hyped up to me when I moved to LA.
Yeah.
Courtney Love used to strip there, but I had heard like there were women with missing arms, legs, and there were all sorts
Oh.
of crazy stuff.
Well,
And then I go there, it's like, okay, it's just
No.
the same as every other strip club, except they
No.
have maybe a few more tattoos.
No. In the 80s. Okay, I want to tell you my first day there. Because this was like in the I think I got my agent in 84, 83. So, I'm petrified. So I go there because there was an agency. We made money. You got $15 an hour, right? You worked 7 hours or something. 5 dances off, 2 dances off. I was in incredible shape. But then I remember my first day I go to Jumbo's, and they're sitting at the bar. It looks like a clown room, right? And there's a guy sitting there like this, and there's a the dancer, and she's all punked out. She's got like a mohawk, all 5 belts, you know that look. And he's going to her and goes, "You fucking cunt, you bitch, you fucking cunt," like this. And she goes like this, boosh, and he comes tumbling over like this. I'm standing like this, you know, blood's coming out his nose and everything. No one's upset. So then
just another night of jumbo.
Yeah, so he goes crawling out. Then he comes back in, and then 2 again. She comes up and he goes, "You fucking cunt, you bitch." Yeah, blah, blah. She booshes him again, you know. I'm like, oh. And she goes, I went by Kim then. She goes, "Come here, Kim." And I said, "What's going on?" She said, "I get $20 for every time I hit him." And I said, "I think I can work here." But she got paid. That was his thing. It's like he wanted to be hit. He got to say every horrible thing to her, and she just like belted him. And then $5 went to the security, and she got $20.
Well, this brings us to our S&M conversation we were having in the car.
Mm-hmm.
You were a professional slave at one time.
Yeah, I tried. I could never. It was like, you know, I was a slave, but I couldn't earn my stripes. I just like, ouch, ow.
Did you call your safe word too soon?
Yeah, I was like, I couldn't remember it or something. You know, it was a mess. You know, but yeah, I tried it for a couple months, and I was the funny one again.
How do you become a funny slave?
A ticklish. You know where they tickle you?
Oh yes, I've had them do that.
Yeah.
Yes.
And I did a couple of those videos where they tickle you, you know, where they and
Are they still online?
I don't want to know. They're so bad. Like I remember like being in a dungeon, you go like this, and the panels moving with you, you know, the chains like. But you know, you did the ticklish, you know,
yeah.
And then you do fantasy. You want to hear a funniest one? Okay.
Yeah, why not?
Okay. So anyway, one of them was this guy come in. I mean, this was at, I'm not gonna say the name of the place, but it was in Culver City, and I had to wear a little girl's outfit.
Okay.
And then we went outside and we got a little can, and then is in the back, and he laid down there, and then I would kick this can and follow him, and then I could kick a can, and then I was like, and then just show my panties as I kicked the can, and I said, "What's that?" And he goes, That's what he was into. He would just lay there and jerk off, you know, as you know, and see me kick a can. And what it was, he told me that you know, it was his first fantasy when he was laying like 14 or something at the park, and he saw a pair of panties and a little girl's school dress, and that's when he got hard.
Wow.
But can I tell you one more story? The craziest one. Okay, people want to be furnitures. You
I know that. Yeah.
So we called Mr. Couch. We had him like Mr. Rug and Mr. Couch. So Mr. Couch came in, and he would go around, he'd trying to find the fattest girl, the biggest girl, because he had to pounce on him, right? And if you were skinny, he'd go, too skinny, too skinny, too skinny.
No, so he wasn't the couch, they were the couch.
No, he was a couch, but he wanted them to sit on him.
Oh.
And then you had to bounce on him, so he wanted like the biggest girl to sit on him, and then he would jerk off. So then he goes like this, "All right, none of you guys are too skinny. Okay, I want to take 3 of you. You can sit on each other's lap, you know." And then he goes, so then he goes, now, so he's laying there and he's jerking off, and he goes, "Now talk to the couch like your couch." So this girl goes like this. She's real mean. She goes, "Okay, and tell me the fantasy what you would do this couch." So we're sitting there going, "Oh, we love this couch, we love this couch, we love this couch." And then this girl goes like this, "And then we're going to take this couch, and we're going to take it, we're going to stab it, and we're going to turn it." It goes, "Whoa, whoa, 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 you're going too far, you're going too far." Then
Don't wreck the couch.
No, that is like, then we're going to cut the couch. Everything is like, wait, stop. Use a safe word. He goes, "Don't say you're going to cut the couch," you know. And it was like that.
The safe word is lazy boy.
Oh, I had one in Houston.
See, I was waiting for this too.
Yeah.
I had one in Houston, and I had dropped acid. And the acid had kicked in when I saw him. And I knew him because he only picked you up if you wore stilettos that had the metal heels.
Oh, right.
And he had a thing for those. So he picked me up, and we went back to my place, and he wanted to lay on the floor with me to put a chair over him. And then he wanted me to just sit there. And while I talked shit to him, like, "You cocksucker, you piece of shit, you lousy motherfucker," while I'm doing all of that, he wanted me to cut him and scrape him with the heels of the boots.
Wow.
And so I'm sitting there like scraping him up and putting like bleeding. He was drawing blood.
Wow.
And then he wanted me to take T-pins for wigs.
Oh.
He wanted me to take those and put them through his dick.
Jesus.
And I was like,
Oh.
no. So then he tells me, okay, well, I want you to stand on my throat. So I said, okay. And so I'm putting my foot down, but I'm not trying to put a lot of pressure because
Right,
I'm tripping balls on
yeah.
acid. And I'm like, oh my God. And the blood on his belly just looks like a ton to me because I'm high.
Right.
So I'm standing there and all of a sudden I just feel a pop.
Oh no.
And I thought, oh my God, I've killed this motherfucker. Oh my God, I'm going to prison.
Oh.
That was my first thought, was prison.
Yeah.
I didn't give a shit about him. I mean, fuck him. He was a freak. But I cared about, I was going to prison. And then he had, because his eyes just kind of bulged and stared at me. But he was fine.
Oh, good.
Wow.
It was just the heel slipping off the side of his neck. But it scared the fuck out of me for a minute.
I have,
So it wasn't bone, it was just the heel cracking on the floor.
Yeah, it was the heel cracking onto the floor, thankfully.
I have a story.
Woohoo! Another.
Oh, yeah.
That's our bonding stories.
It's a little bit lighter, but it's very interesting. So last Friday, I went to this private hotel, and I see that they have a riding crop and a rose sitting by the fire. And I go, what's with the riding crop? And they go, do you want us to show you? And I said, yes. So they say, is it okay if we blindfold you? And I was like, okay. So then these two girls start massaging me, and then they pull out a feather. And then one is touching me and doing these weird things to my arms, while the other one's lightly teasing my bare legs and my face and everything with the feather. Then they pull out the candle. And then they start pouring the hot wax on me. And I'm like, okay, I don't know what I've gotten myself into.
Wow.
And so then finally they bring out the riding crop, and then they smack me around a bit. And then one of them whispers in my ear, if you want more, come visit us at room 110. So after I was there for a show, after the show, I'm like, I'm going to go check out room 110. And so they asked me my name. I'm like, it's Nicole. And they're all Nicole, because they're both from Sweden. And apparently they run this erotic thing in Sweden where they take your name and they turn it into a story. So they told this whole weird threesome story while they're rubbing me with ice and smacking me around some more and just doing all these little softcore bondage tortures while telling this story about how I was like spying on my neighbors and then I got invited to join a threesome.
Oh, wow.
So yeah, I mean, I'm down for...
Very creative.
Yeah.
People don't believe I'm submissive because I'm so strong, but that's how a lot of times it is. In relationships, you want to be like, I didn't mind any of that at all. I can go for a little time.
So you're a slave then?
For the right guy.
For the right guy.
I'm a
Yeah.
switch.
You're
I
a
can do
switch.
both.
I tried, so a guy wanted me to whip him, and I can't do it. It's just
Yeah.
something about it where
Oh, I can.
Oh,
you
you
can.
can.
Get the fuck out of a man.
I didn't. He's like, now blow on it. I'm like, I don't know if I'm whipping him too hard. I was scared, like I didn't feel. It's about control, and I didn't feel in control when I was whipping.
But do you like when somebody whips you?
Yeah, like I dated a guy who had a little whip, a little cat o' nine tails. So he used to whip me.
Oh, I
Right.
like floggers.
Yeah.
You
Yeah.
like
Yeah, so here,
I
yeah,
feel
so
this
here we
one.
go. So you like beating the shit out of men.
Yeah, I do. But I like getting spanked and stuff too. I like playing switch.
Right, right. So you were a professional.
Spanked and choked.
I'm not opposed to calling somebody
Yeah.
daddy.
You like getting spanked and choked?
Yeah, I do.
Yeah,
I
they're
don't
very
like it when they
trusting.
call me mommy though.
I don't
Oh
either.
God,
no.
when they call me mommy,
That's
I
creepy.
cringe.
That's like, like they had a couple of people like that was weird. That was the only time it's like when a guy was in a baby pen,
Oh,
and then
yes.
a diaper. I was
I
like,
had a baby.
okay, that's enough.
Oh yeah,
I
tell
had
them
an
about
adult
the
baby
baby.
regular.
Yeah.
Okay, so this guy used to come over and he was actually gay. He wasn't even really into transsexual sexually. But something about, he wanted me to be like motherly. But he brought over a real mental institution straitjacket
Whoa.
and the leg restraints. And so I would put him in the straitjacket and the leg restraints, and he would bring me Valiums and
Ooh,
money and
yummy.
stuff like that. Oh yes, lovely.
Yeah.
So I would go sit in the living room. I would go sit in the living room and get high, but I would leave him with a baby bottle of orange juice propped up where he could sup on it.
Okay.
And I would just leave him in the dark for about 30 minutes.
Wow.
It was like a little nipple on the baby bottle.
Yeah, but the reason that he would go to the transsexuals was because his lover had shot him in the face.
Holy shit.
And so he had a glass eye.
Oh, wow.
And yeah,
I'm so
like
sorry.
there was a whole thing. It was like the whole thing with the glass eye, and you could see the scar, like where the hole was on one cheek. You knew where it was.
Oh.
And I felt bad for him, and like he wanted to be my slave for a party. He wanted me to throw luncheon
Wow.
and to have girlfriends over, and for him to be dressed like a French maid, like crawling around on the floor waiting on us and stuff. And I was like, dude, I can't do that. My friends, my friends would give me so much shit if I did something like that. Like, no way.
That must
Would
have
you
been,
do it now?
Now I would think it was hilarious.
Exactly.
Yes. Now
I mean,
would
that
do
must
it.
have been the biggest cum because in order to lose your fucking eye. You
Oh,
know
yeah.
what I mean?
Oh,
yeah.
I mean, you were like, I'm gonna get shot because I want to come that big.
That's
I mean,
crazy.
Oh,
I mean,
it
that was
insane.
just to be like wacky.
It was insane.
I
Yeah.
forgot to mention one thing about the party at the hotel. I never saw the room. They blindfolded me in the hallway and led me into the room.
Mm.
Yeah, that was the coolest part. I'll never know what was in room 110. Like if they had like, I don't know. All I did was hear them using my voice on the with the microphone telling the story, and then them guiding me and sitting me down in a chair. And I just, it was such a trusting experience because that's what S&M is about. It's about
Yeah.
trust. Like
Oh,
they
yeah.
gently took my purse from me and sat on the floor, and like it's a really nice hotel, so I trusted them.
Yeah.
But I had this anxiety about not having my purse, and when I left, they gave me my purse back, and everything was fine. But you
Yeah.
know, you're just sitting there like I'm
Are they
completely,
robbing me?
you're completely at their will.
Yeah.
And it was
Yeah.
very sexy.
Yeah.
They it sounds like some Eyes Wide Shut type of shit.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, again, but I'm all about it. Like when they ask me, "Do you want to find out?" I'm like, "Yeah, I want to find out."
And also, I know how little money you have in your purse and you have no credit card, so
Yeah.
you know you just got to
Buy my new book. You'll be helping me out.
Yes, exactly. Now, Tonya, I can't believe it's been almost an hour. This has just been we've just been having so much
This has
fun.
been a fun show.
As I knew it would.
Um,
But Tonya, I was gonna
What?
where was I gonna go with this? Oh yes,
What's that?
you were on a show with our friend and former guest Aiden Park. Jamie knows.
I know Aiden.
Yes.
And he asked you a question about sucking dick, and you said you learned from a porn star.
Yes,
Oh,
I
wow.
did. Well, what happened was, you know, like, you know, when you're in those days, we didn't have telephones and everything, so we just bonded, and you know, and everyone was naked.
Well, they had telephones, but
But
they,
we
they
couldn't
were
use
connected
that.
to a wall.
Yeah, wall and no thing. So we had to really connect, and then so we knew everything about each other. You were there for 4 or 5
Yeah,
days.
Tonya, you didn't grow up in a pre-Edison.
No,
Who's the guy?
Alexander
Yeah.
Graham
Yeah,
Bell
yes,
was your
yes,
first date.
Yeah, Alexander Graham Bell was my switch. He was my dom. But
But what would happen was like we'd be like here for 4 days, and so we just tell each other stories. So I was saying I was dating, and then I said I'm dating a married man, and then so I was doing her makeup, and the male model was down there sleeping, and then she goes, Tonya, I know that you're dating this married man, and she goes, do you know how to give a good blowjob, you know, to keep him happy? And I said, I think so. I don't know. I said, I think so. She goes,
that's
I
a
did.
no.
And so I go, yeah. And she goes, so she knocks the male model. She goes, get up. And he's going, what? And he goes, we have to teach Tonya how to give a blowjob because she's dating a married man, and she, you know, and she has to keep him happy. He goes, okay. So he gets up there.
If you insist.
And he goes like this. All right. And then so then she goes like this. So he stands there, and then she goes, Tonya, come here. So I stood in the middle there, and then she goes, so you take your cock, and then she showed me, you know, she's like, take your throat like this, and she's taught me how to release
You
the
just have to
throat.
swallow it down.
Yeah, and like, you know, not go, because I was like, ah! And you know, the
Yeah.
guy was Japanese. I said, I don't have to worry, he's not that big. She said, well, you don't know what's going to happen in the future. You have to learn.
Besides, they like it
Yeah,
when
you
you choke
might-
on it a little
yeah.
Yeah, they do.
And it's like-
They do.
and she goes, because I was like, oh, you know, like I do.
It makes them feel big.
bit.
Yeah,
Yeah, exactly. Can't handle that shit.
Yeah.
Yeah,
You're too
exactly.
big.
Yeah, and so she said, "I'm gonna show you how to do it." And so yeah, so we stood there, and it was so loving because they all wanted me to, you know, be in this relationship, and I thought it was the most wonderful thing. I mean,
Yeah. I, by the way, about the gag thing, I have to disagree with that because
Really?
I had an ex-girlfriend. She was really into me. She was really, and honestly, in retrospect, she's probably the one I should have stuck with. But she was so into me that when she sucked my dick, she started gagging.
Yeah.
And I know I'm blissfully average. And so I was like, wait a second. I've never had anybody. And I went to my ex-girlfriends. I'm like, am I gag worthy or what's going on here? And they're like, she must really like you because she's trying to make you think that you're real. I'm like, I'm not. She may have been really inexperienced, possibly like you, because she was younger. But yeah, I just didn't. I was like, dude, I'm not. I know where I'm at. I'm average and thick, but that's it. That's it.
Yeah, it's had to relate. And then she's like if you had she said if you better if you didn't have your tonsils or something.
Yeah,
I
I
don't
had
know,
mine
right?
taken out when I was 5.
Yeah, if you have your tonsils.
Wait a second, you had your tonsils taken out for that?
No, when I was
No.
5.
Oh, okay.
Yeah,
when you're five, okay.
because that also makes you gag that little thing in the middle of
the
your
uvula,
that little thing
The
makes
uvula,
you yeah. So I didn't have my tonsils taken out. So she said, so people have their tonsils taken out. Older
I
people
can swallow.
I can swallow.
Yeah.
But yeah,
I give a good blowjob.
yeah.
But so this was a porn star. Was this a famous porn star?
Oh no, it was just one of the lovely girls at Centerfold. They were and there were so many, but she was just a loving, because that's how we helped each other.
Yeah, it's a nice thing to do.
Yeah.
But you were talking about Marilyn Chambers in the car.
Yes, I did. I did her set, but I didn't do her makeup, everything. So I made this beautiful set for her, and this is when she went with Chuck, who Chuck was the former husband of Linda Lovelace, who's when the movie came out that he was a deep throat and everything. And
kids, these are very famous 70s porn stars.
Yeah.
I mean, they're so famous that there's
Psycho.
movies now that are made about them.
Yeah.
Deep Throat was not just a big porn movie. It was like it
right.
made about as much money as Star Wars in the actual cinemas.
Oh yeah.
And Marilyn Chambers was the star behind the Green Door, which was not as big as Deep Throat, but just about, and probably it would be like the DC to the Marvel. But Marilyn Chambers behind the Green Door, the whole scandal was that a black guy had sex with her behind the Green Door. But you said she was into black guys.
Oh yeah, she loved them. She loved them. She loved black guys, and I remember she had her clitoris or her pussy. Let's just get to the point. Pussy, and she had let's just say it. She had a beautiful diamond horseshoe because she was singing country music
and her pussy.
Yeah, and that was like
She had like a piercing on her hood.
Yeah, on her pussy through her lips, and it was a beautiful horseshoe, diamond horseshoe thingamajiggy, and she loved it. But I was saying about Chuck, he had been with Linda Lovelace, and he was so nice and everything. He was, and I spent a week with him or so because we had like a 3-day shooting. And then, as I was turning the car, that's when Linda Lovelace was coming out with this book. And he told me, please don't read this book. And I promised. And Marilyn said, please don't read this book because it showed him as being a horrible person. So I never got to read the book, but I saw the movie, and I was like, that's that guy? Because it just showed him being this horrible, horrible, horrible person. But see, what happened was, the things in porn, Marilyn Chambers loved it, and she loved it. Lovelace was from a Christian family, Catholic family. She didn't like it. So there was two.
Kind of like Betty Page.
Yeah, exactly like Betty Page. Exactly.
Okay. She just sort of fell into it, and that's the way it goes.
Well, he triggered her into it, and like in the movie, he showed her, I mean, like he would have her go do other guys and everything, and she didn't want to do it. Where Marilyn Chambers go, yahoo!
Oh, fuck anybody, sure, why not? As long as they're black.
Yeah,
Marilyn
she
Chambers
loved
sounds
it.
like a whore.
Yeah, she loved it, and she was so sweet, and she was so natural. Like she was an Irish Snow model, and she got it. But she was so smart, and she sang really good. And she died of a heart attack, unfortunately.
Yeah.
But she was just starting her singing, and I made her this beautiful set, and it was like with I made it like a cabin with, because I used to, beside that I would help, sketch these shootings for her, and like a beautiful purple, like a turquoise head with a big old horn, and I made her a cabin, and she loved it so much. So she was wonderful and so kind. We listened to country music, and
That sounds like fun.
Yeah, and it'd be like all of us today. We'd be like, hanging out for 3 or 4 days and everything. But
Right.
I got to do that with Ashley Judd once.
oh,
Wait a
really?
second, please tell that story.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, Ashley Judd, when she was filming that movie where her husband died, and Double Jeopardy.
Right.
Oh yeah. That
Double
one.
Jeopardy, when her husband died and she couldn't be tried twice for his
Right.
murder.
Yeah.
And she hunted him down in New Orleans.
Yep.
Well, the scene in all of the scenes in New Orleans were in this building that were directly across the street from the bar where I was bartending.
Oh, cool.
So Tommy Lee Jones was in the movie too.
Yeah.
And I had a thing for Tommy Lee
Oh
Jones.
yeah.
So I was sitting on top of the bar
Woohoo.
with the doors wide open to the set across the street. And Tommy Lee comes out of the building, and it's supposed to be after the guy's shot, and he's going into the ambulance, and a real serious scene.
Right.
And I just picked up my shirt and was like, Tommy!
Ah!
And he just busted out laughing, and the director got so pissed off at me.
Oh my.
But Ashley came into the bar, and she hung out every night for 3 nights of shooting. And she kept playing her sister's music on the jukebox.
Mhm.
And I remember we had a big bowl of condoms on the bar. So I grabbed a big handful of them, and I put them on a bar in front of her, and I was like, here, you might want these. And she looked at me and she said, well, I'm so glad you're so optimistic about my sex life. And that was back when she was single, so it was fun.
I was
It
going to
fun.
say, if she can't use them, Tommy Lee probably can.
Yeah.
Yeah.
She
he's
warned me
hot.
that Tommy Lee had a girlfriend at the time that could
Yeah.
kick my ass.
Oh.
I doubt that. I highly
Yeah, I
doubt.
highly doubt it too, but
Although I'm sure he's a big strapping guy, probably a
Yeah.
strong woman too.
he definitely looked.
I think.
Yeah. So if you had to think about Tommy Lee Jones and you saw him in person, did it disappoint?
No, he didn't disappoint. He was a sexy older man then.
Okay.
Yeah.
He's a little bit of a kook, but I kind of like kooks. Like,
So you dated him? Oh no.
no.
Oh,
She just
my
showed
heart.
her her tits.
I would be
Yeah.
so jealous.
Yes,
Yeah.
but,
Yeah,
He
no.
has bad skin and everything. It doesn't matter. It makes him really look good.
It
Yeah,
doesn't matter at all.
has horrible
He's a little
skin.
bit of a gun nut.
Yeah. Oh wow.
yeah, but whatever. But
Yeah.
I can't believe the life you two have led.
Oh
Yeah.
yeah.
But no, I had a thought and it just went away. But what I was going to go to you is because every time, and I can't believe it's been an hour 6 minutes already. Every time we're going to close it up, but I've got a couple of questions for both of you.
Yeah.
Now, every time Jamie's on, she talks about the celebrities that she has been with, and now the celebrities that she's shown her tits to. You have had dalliances with celebrities.
Well, Ike Turner taught me how to smoke crack. Is that good?
Oh wow.
Oh, do tell.
Smoking crack with Ike Turner. I do want to hear this.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's right. Oh, it was a crazy time. I was dating this guy, musician, everything. I don't know what happened, but he got arrested for this craziness. But anyway, he said I'm having Ike Turner come over, and he came over, and they were all partying and everything, and then I never, it was the first time I smoked out with the crack then, or
But you done coke though, right?
Oh yeah, I did coke, but I never smoked it and everything. And he goes, because I had dark hair, and he goes, you look like Tina, because I do, because and so he goes, let me show you. So he was so impeccable clean. He was so organized. You know how most people who smoke crack, they're that time they were baking sodas, everything, and so messy and everything.
I'm not around crackheads a lot. so
No,
I don't
this
really know.
this was in the 80s when
80s, yes.
where everybody was doing. He was so meticulous. It was like a surgeon. It was just all planned out. He did it, and then I did it, and I said, "Oh my God!" But he wouldn't. We didn't have sex because he didn't think that was right because of my relationship with my boyfriend. So he didn't think that was right.
So Ike Turner has morals.
Yeah, it was, or he wasn't into me. but yeah, that was like amazing. But that's the same. So
The
Right.
lousy
And-
thing about crack is you
That's
always
the
want
only thing
more
I can
10
say.
minutes later.
yeah,
Right.
Yeah.
It's like Chinese food.
It's you're chasing the dragon. the
Right.
whole
yeah.
time.
No, I never want to do it again. But
Yeah.
but I never
That's
seen.
too bad because I had some crack right here in the back.
I'll run out of here because that was the most amazing film.
I don't know if it's Ike Turner quality, but it's in there. But Tonya, my last question to you is,
Yes.
and I'm going to ask Jamie the same question. What was the first time you went? Because we have to get a comedy question in here somewhere
Yes.
for the comedy nerd fans that'll be listening. what was the first time you went on stage, and what prompted you to do it?
Okay, my husband or my boyfriend passed away. He had produced From Here to Now with Richard Pryor. But I was going on auditions, and I'm kooky and I'm kind of crazy, and so every time.
And you're funny.
And so every time I went on audition, that time I had dark hair. They go, we don't know, but he goes, you're funny. And then even my boyfriend, like we hosted a lot of parties and everything, but I was a kook, and so I just went to Bob and I said, I think I could be a stand-up. He goes, okay, let's see how you can do it. And so I went to do it because I thought, I like making people laugh. I've always done it. And the thing was, in the porn, in my makeup artist, that was one thing I loved making people laugh, and we had so much fun when we were doing makeup. And I always wanted that same kind of energy. You know what I mean? Like when we did makeup, we were so silly, and I just said, I want to live in that world. But my first time at the Improv, I thought I was gonna fucking die. I thought I was gonna throw up. It was a class of Mark Lano.
The Melrose Improv.
Yeah, I did a class with Mark Lano or something.
Mark Lano, yeah.
Oh my God! And then the L.A. Cabaret. In fact, I saw Ray or whatever, Ray Bishop, and he has notes. He's so meticulous. So I went to see him. He has notes of my first time and my second time when I was at the stand-up. He goes, man, did you get dirty? So that was my first, yeah.
So how was it being on the stage at the Improv and getting laughs?
I don't
Did you get
know.
laughs?
I don't remember. I was
Okay.
so petrified. And, and Bob, bless his heart, he just said, hey.
Yeah, so you bombed.
And then, so then, at that time, I would get a new dress, everything, invite people. And then he goes, honey, do you think you could find a cheaper hobby? But but then he said, okay, this is I live in Orange County. He said, okay, you're going to have to start doing your own show. Let's make money. So he set me up doing comedy in this little place in Long Beach. They gave me $600 a night for all the comics. Bob thought that was a little money. He wrote the contract. Mm-hmm. I didn't realize that was the most money people were making. I was giving a headline as 150.
I was going to say, now it would be huge.
Yeah. And I mean, I had people like calling me up and going, I go, what is your name? And I can't say the comics, and they go, and I go, can I have a tape of you? He goes, do you know who I am? And I go, okay. And so that's how I got in the comedy world, because I started paying them 150, middle 75. And it was 35, and then they could eat off the menu, have all the drinks they want, all the food we want, and we wow. And then Bob had it where I wore an evening gown. We had it, and I said, Bob, we had to make it so beautiful that, because when women dress to come to a show, they're gonna come because they get their nails done, their hair done. They're not gonna fucking say, let's stay in. So we made it a place in Orange County where the women could dress up. And so Bob was a producer then, so he brought in the big old spotlight, and we made it like it was like a Copacabana, And
very nice.
Yeah, and so that's how I got to know a lot of the big comics, is because I said, I'll pay. Is $150 okay? Can you come down and you can have anything off the menu? It's a 4-star restaurant. And they're like, yeah.
Okay.
So
yeah, because we're all broke motherfuckers. Now, Jamie, when was the first time you were on stage doing comedy?
Doing comedy.
Yeah, because you both have, you both have such great stage presence because of your stripping. You know how to get an audience's attention. Well, you're both beautiful, but you also have that magnetism on stage.
It started with the stripping, and then it went to, I thought that I could try doing drag shows for a while, but that just wasn't me. I'm just not a drag queen. I mean,
yeah, you have to
you have to be in that. But yeah, then 5 years ago, Aiden and I became friends.
Yes.
And that was when Aiden's husband, Michael, was alive.
Right. He's a wonderful guy.
Yes.
I knew him.
And Michael and I became close friends. And then one night I looked at Michael and I said, you know what? I have to tell you, I've been bitten by the bug. I want to get up there. I really want to get up there. And so he said, Jamie, I was just waiting for you to ask. That's really all I was waiting for. And so I really owe it all to Michael and Aiden, because they're the first ones that put me on stage. Yeah.
That's wonderful.
Oh, wow.
And how was it?
My first time was really good, surprisingly.
Yeah.
I
Wow.
mean, now going back into the classes and stuff, I've learned some basic things that I needed to learn
Right.
a long time ago. You know.
Well, but the main thing is to get up, and
Yeah.
you've improved, as I said, from from the first time I saw you, which was on one of my shows, to the last time I saw you, which was on one of my shows. The last set I saw you, which was before your comedy classes, it was the best set I've ever seen.
Yeah.
And I'm sure you're funnier now.
Well, I've got a new set written that I'm going to branch out with this weekend. So
That's good.
Neat.
And go ahead.
I said neat.
Neat,
Yeah.
neat. Okay, there you go. There's Nicole. Now, one last question I always have to ask this because everybody knows, and we've gone over it so many times. You've been on the show so many times, and I thought I could go one show without mentioning
Eddie.
your dalliance with Eddie Murphy. But Tonya asked me, and it was a question I didn't know. I thought I had covered everything. And I got the answer today, I think, because when you were with Eddie Murphy, you still had a penis.
yes.
Okay.
Did he ever suck the penis?
No, but he wanted to.
Wow.
Did he ever touch the penis?
Yes.
Wow.
Did he ever touch the penis to completion?
No, because no man was ever able to do that.
Wow.
Well, they aren't.
Well, because I hated having it so much
Right.
that, I mean, it was a part of me that I really did hate. So
Oh.
for men to get me off, it was like, I had to do it. I had to finally just tell them, look, let me do it, and then I would
Wow.
finish.
And did he do it to the point you were erect?
Yeah, he did that much.
Okay.
Wow.
Yeah.
Wow.
Anyway,
Yeah.
That's fascinating.
see now we know everything. And please check out the past shows. There's more to the story. But Tonya, Jamie,
Yes.
Nicole, how much fun has this been?
This has been a great show.
It's been
Really
a great
good
show. It's an hour 16 minutes,
Oh.
and it felt like it just started.
Okay.
Anyway, let's let everybody know where you're at, Jamie, and how people
Right.
can get a hold of you and see your YouTube videos and everything else.
YouTube, Jamie Gendron. Facebook, Jamie Gendron. Instagram is Miss_Jamie_Gendron. And then it's Miss Jamie Gendron on Twitter, I believe.
Yes, and there's all sorts of very interesting pictures that you can find on the
Yeah.
Instagram. And,
Oh, yeah. There's pictures of me naked that my father was horrified by.
Oh, wow.
but everybody else was thrilled by,
Well.
including myself.
Well, yeah, I've gotten a lot of compliments on them.
Yes, and let's just put it this way: I touched myself to completion.
Wow.
Tanya, how do people get a hold of you?
Okay, I'm going to start a blog. It's under Tonya Moon blog. It's going to be talking about. It's going to be called Grandma, what was porn like in your days? But you can just see my blog.
It's TONYA.
MOON. And I'm going to start this blog. So Tonya Moon blog, a comic or comedian that. But I'm at the on Melrose and Vine at the Wynn Theater every Saturday.
Yes.
So-
It's not the Wynn Theater. It's the
WIEN.
the Wren.
The Wren.
The Wren Theater.
The Wren.
WREN. And,
Ours are hard for me. One Wren Theater.
and Jamie, one of these Saturdays, come on down to the Wren and join us.
Yeah.
It's in the back of an Irish. It's a little theater in the back of an Irish import store, and it's a great place to work out material.
Yeah.
Oh, cool.
So it's in Hollywood. So I know it's a drive, but if you ever get a chance, check it
Yeah.
out.
Yeah.
And Nicole,
Hello.
you've been. I'm glad you chimed in a little bit because I know that with these two,
Oh, I'm so sorry.
or myself included, these three blabbermouths, that
I'm
it's
sorry.
hard. No, we love it. We want conversation. It was great.
Yeah.
But how do people get a hold of you?
I'm at Nicole6Books on Instagram or Nicole H6 on Facebook. And I just started a more personal account if you actually really want to get to know me, which is Nicole6 Private on Instagram.
And the last blog you did for Renegade Radio, that's on renegaderadio.com, was that all about the story?
That is the story of the Room 110, yes.
And there's more to it, right?
Yeah, it's a good read. It's
I-
on renegaderadio.com.
I can't wait to read it. And I, Dark Mark, am Goth Comedian on all social media. Everybody, have a wonderfully creepy week. Bye.